Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, Rich Vince is going to be with us talking about consultants in the workplace. He's got a great topic this evening. He really does. We've been spending 10 seconds being grateful. So think of 3 things today that you are grateful for that happened to you. Go. You can't be unhappy when you're grateful. Being grateful. A wonderful way to start the day, a wonderful way to end the day, and do it in the middle of the day. Well, we're going to talk about longevity in jobs, probably one of the biggest difficulties we as recruiters run into. And this is the reality of the way things are today. Over the last 10 or 15 years, the average job in the United States has gone from 8 or 9 years down to 3.9 years. That's the average job in the United States. Entry-level positions average about 2 years. 180 recent hiring managers were polled, and 98% of them say that they don't expect an entry-level person to last more than 2 years. Some of them even said it was more like 1 year. The median range of workers from the 25 to 34 range is 2.7 years. And mid-level positions have a tenure to be a bit longer of 3 to 5 years. Senior level positions will only have a tenure of 5 to 7 years, and 60% of hiring managers prefer at least 5 years of tenure for a senior level position, and 21% of them even like 10 years or more. But in this day and age, that's very unrealistic. If you are looking for a job and you are hobbled with the problem of too many jobs, too many short bouts of tenure, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you better get this down and you better be able to explain it. Even the average CEO in today's world only lasts 3 to 5 years. Now, there are lots of different reasons for all of these things happening, but you need to have good reasons for leaving the positions that you're in. What brought this up was, I mentioned in the last session that I recorded in a video, was that I had a candidate that said, well, I was recruited. I was recruited out of 2 positions. That's not a good reason. You better have good reasons for leaving the jobs you've had. Now, this report, a number of reports that I read, said that the reason that people leave most of the jobs is because they stop growing in their current roles and they have diminished returns in those roles. So they stop growing, and when people stop growing in those roles, they stop learning. They therefore become bored, and no matter how much money they make, they have a tendency to want to leave. Now, I wondered in reading this if this was caused by the fact that the tenure of the job was only going to be 2 to 3, maybe 4 years. So companies that had the jobs geared them towards only that much time. So therefore they fixed it so there wasn't going to be much learning beyond that. So therefore it became the norm that people weren't going to learn much beyond that. So therefore they were going to leave. The words hit the ceiling and no clear promotions, no clear growth beyond the job seem to resonate often. No challenge. After 2 or 3 years of doing the same work, there didn't seem to be much challenge, and people's interest in these jobs had a tendency to wane. Receiving better compensation seems to be a lot of the reason that people leave the jobs, but I think that's an excuse that people use. I see a lot of times people leaving a job wanting a better wanting better money, and when we analyze the jobs that they get, in fact, jobs that I place them, they really don't wind up getting much more money than they were receiving before. Now that depends on the economy and the scale of the economy. And the economy over the past couple of years hasn't dictated that at all. In fact, lots of people that have been out of work for a long time don't end up making more money than they had made before. So maybe they do say that they leave for compensation better than what they had before, but that may not be real. One of the major reasons that people leave their job is for the culture of their company. It's not a good culture. I would guesstimate that 50% of the people, 35 to 50% of people leave a job because of the culture of the organization. They don't really like the people that they work for. They don't like the environment. It's a difficult one. And most hiring managers, most organizations will never admit that. They just don't like it. It's not a healthy place to work. That's sad and that's a shame, but that's the way it is. So if you're a hiring authority or a managing authority listening to this, think about your culture. Think about the growth there is there. Do people like working there? People enjoy it. Are they growing personally, professionally? Because that does have a lot to do with it. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.